This is a steal for the Los Angeles Lakers as a brand new report has dropped revealing a massive Lakers trade update that not only changes the outlook as they approach the trade deadline, but is an absolute robbery for this team. I'm going to break that down and discuss what it means going forward as well. It's a ton of other updates ahead of the game tonight, folks. Ton to go over today, but before we get into it, you guys have been absolute beasts of the support, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. And again, thank you guys for continuing support over here, folks. A lot to go over today, and obviously, we know the Lakers have a big game tonight against the Philadelphia 76ers, but some new reports have dropped surrounding their pursuit of one player that has fans very intrigued. And let's just dive right into it. So this is from a couple days ago. We also have some, or rather 4 days ago, but then we have some reports that dropped yesterday into this afternoon. A ton of things happening here. But you can see the Lakers are exploring ways, per Brett Siegel, a very reputable reporter, to acquire Herb Jones. And this is of course a massive report for a number of reasons. And we know that the Lakers throughout the entire season really have been linked to a lot of different guys. And now that LeBron is back fairly healthy, though still dealing with arthritis, I believe it is. I think they called it that. He is, the Lakers are still to figure out what exactly they need, but it is clear they could use one more defender. And boy, is Herb Jones the absolute perfect fit. And this has started to line questions about what it would take to get him. But the fact that they are clearly trying to pursue him, there's been reports that they are actively pursuing him. You can see here, Bleacher Report has Herb Jones, the Lakers' #1 trade target. There is smoke here, and usually where there's smoke, there's fire. Now, also, according to Chris Dodson of Clutch Sports, the Lakers are interested, so another reporter, in acquiring New Orleans Pelicans forward Herb Jones. He is a threat from three, is a perfect addition to a Lakers team that needs more three-point shooting, but most importantly, needs a point of attack defender. But of course, there's also other teams interested, according to Brett Siegel, Golden State Warriors, some other teams as well. So you're going to have to compete, and that, of course, dives into what the trade would look like. But folks, we also have Jake Fisher coming out and saying that the Pelicans are at least willing to show, interest in trading Herb Jones and Trey Murphy. And we've done videos on Trey Murphy here on the channel, and we'll do another video on Trey Murphy, I'm sure, before the trade deadline. But this is now multiple reports from multiple reporters saying the same thing, that A, the Pelicans are willing to trade Herb Jones, which is a new development. B, the Lakers are heavily involved and actually actively trying to acquire Herb Jones. And of course, C, we know how good of a fit he is for this team. And he's missed some time this year, Herb Jones. Let's dive into kind of what he would look like now. He's averaging 9 points a game, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 36% from three. So a little bit above, tick above league average. But folks, if you can add Herb Jones to this Lakers team, boy, oh boy, do they become much more dynamic. And they're really missing a defender, a point of attack defender. Now, they have Marcus Smart, who's been dealing with his own injuries as of late, and I believe is out for tonight's game as well. But they clearly need one more guy. Now, they have Hachimura, who's looked really solid offensively. He's a capable defender, but Austin Reaves has taken the jump this year. LeBron's a step slower now. He's not a good defender. Luka is not a good defender, right? He's, improved his conditioning, been a little bit better. He's more capable out there. But the Lakers don't really have, outside of Marcus Smart, a true elite defender. And that is what, of course, Herb Jones is. He's an elite two-way wing. Now, is he elite in the sense of he's going to be a guy who puts up 15, 20 points a game? Probably not, though. If there is a team for him to put up 15 points a game and increase his, point per game by 6 points, it's probably the Lakers. Yes, they have a ton of players who can score. There's no doubting that. But you're going to get so many open shots if you're Herb Jones just spotting up from the corner. And we saw Herb Jones recently hold Luka to 24 points, I think it was, and Luka's always going to get his, but it went to show and really was almost auditioning for Rob Pelinka how good of a defender he is, and it's why the Lakers are exploring ways to try to acquire him. Now, in that same vein, let's dive into what some trades would look like, and this has been a trade that has been thrown out there for a while. So it is Jared Vanderbilt, Dalton Knecht, and that 2031 unprotected first-round pick for Herb Jones. Now, this is where the question becomes, a bit more interesting. So let me know down below in the comment section, would you do this deal? Now, if you're the Pelicans, the centerpiece of this is obviously the 2031 unprotected first. And obviously, there's a lot of question marks about where the Lakers will be in, 4 or 5 years, 6 years. But at the same time, you have Luka Doncic, and you assume you're going to lock him up for the foreseeable future in 2031. And, the Lakers, again, it's 6 years away from now. So that could be it's a very valuable pick, right? Any unprotected pick years away is very valuable. And for the Lakers, you're paying a pretty premium price here for Herb Jones, because he's a guy who, you look at his stats and you look at some of his, numbers, Yes, he's one of the best defenders in the league, made the all defensive first team back in 2023, 2024. He's only 27 years old, but he's averaging 9 points a game, shooting only 39% from three or from the field and 36% from three, but he shoots a lot of them a game. Now he's on a team with the Pelicans who are dealing with some injuries to Zion. They're not the best team. Of course, they traded Brandon Ingram to the Raptors last trade deadline, so they don't have that creator anymore. He can maybe, you know, get their own bucket to open up the floor for Herb Jones. They're not a great team. But if you look into how he would fit on this roster, you would be starting Herb Jones probably at the three. So you'd have a lineup then of Luka, Reaves, Rui, LeBron, and Ayton with then, or sorry, Luka, Reaves, Herb Jones, LeBron, Ayton with Rui off of the bench as that sixth man. And then you have a way better bench than now too. You have Rui off the bench. You have Marcus Smart off the bench. You have Jake LaRavia. And of course, you're also giving up Dalton Knecht in this deal, who has been getting some spot minutes due to a lot of injuries. Has looked okay this year. And for the Pelicans, you could probably get some more minutes, with them, of course, than you would with the Lakers. And then, of course, you're also giving up Jared Vanderbilt, who hasn't really shown enough, offensive game to really get meaningful minutes under JJ Redick's scheme, at least. Briefly, though, he did, of course, when he was first acquired a few years ago. But looking at all this, would you do this deal? I probably would. And the reason is it's tough, right? Giving up that 2031 first round pick, I don't love that. If you can do it without giving up that pick and maybe giving up some swaps instead would be ideal here. But there's other teams involved, like it's being reported from Brett Siegel and others, like the Warriors, for example. There are other teams that are going to try to get Herb Jones. And the problem with trying to acquire Herb Jones, if you're the Lakers or any team for that matter, is he's such an easy player to plug and play. He is one of the best defenders. I mean, every 3-and-D wing goes for so much. You think back to the offseason, Desmond Bane, a great 3-and-D player, 4 first-round picks, the Memphis Grizzlies got. They got that because you can plug him into any team and you can use the teams against each other for leverage because the Lakers would have loved Desmond Bane. They didn't have 4 first-round picks to give up. A ton of teams would love Desmond Bane, just like a ton of teams love Herb Jones. I mean, if you add him to the Warriors, if you add him to, like the Thunder don't really need him, but like the Nuggets or something like that, of course, they gave up a first for Cam Johnson and they also gave up Michael Porter Jr., who's having a great year in Brooklyn. Defense wins championships, and you're going to have to give up a lot. But that's why I think if this would be the deal to get him, he is a needle mover for this team, right? He is a guy who would make this team infinitely better and would fit really well. And I don't think they need to make massive changes, right? Jackson Hayes has been a very solid backup center. DeAndre Ayton's been a fantastic. He's been a delight at center, especially getting him for nothing, asset-wise, just money. You can just get one more defender, and then you have Marcus Smart and Herb Jones. If you want to run a really elite defensive lineup, you can run Luka, Smart, Herb Jones, and then whoever at the 4, LeBron, and then Ayton. That's pretty good defensively, right? At least on the perimeter. So that's something I would consider. So let me know down below what your thoughts are on that. I would do it. It would actually be a steal just being able to get Herb Jones, period. Now that first round pick is a little bit rough. You'd obviously rather swaps, but you got to pay up to get some of these great guys. So let me know down below what your thoughts are. Few other things as well. Looking ahead to the game tonight, LeBron is a game time decision, though JJ Redick recently came out and said that he expects everyone to be, available, I guess, outside of Marcus Smart here for the game. And then for the Sixers, Paul George and Embiid are both game time decisions with Trendon Watford and Kelly Oubre Jr. out. So a little bit of help there. Hopefully, George and Embiid, again, you never want to wish for injury. So I honestly want to see them play, right? Embiid and George, just to see what the Lakers can do because Luka's back. LeBron should be back, all these different things. I'm excited. I'm excited to see that. And you look at the schedule ahead here, folks. Couple of couple of difficult opponents, but also some easier opponents sprinkled in. So you have the Sixers doing decent in the East, spearheaded by Tyrese Maxey, who Herb Jones could help guard tonight if they had him. And then of course the Spurs and the Jazz, the Clippers, Phoenix, and Houston as we approach Christmas Day. But folks, that'll wrap it up. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. You guys are the best. You guys, peace.